Hello and greetings all. Welcome to session 76 of the Sphere of Power. We're moving along. We're getting closer to the end. We're actually into content that I have not covered before. After owning this module for the better part of 30, 40 years, we're finally getting to the point where I get to see the end game of this module. And hopefully, players are getting just as excited. But we have found the last star gem. It is only a hand's reach away across a abyssal void, and the party is contemplating what they need to do to actually get their hands on this last piece required so that they can find the Citadel of Martek and retrieve his fabled sphere of power. All right, with that said, and the intro provided, you guys have any questions or want to state any actions at this point?
Let's go.
So let's go ahead and reshare this.
So how far should we be short? So the bridge reaches.
The 13 pieces bring you 18 inches short of the platform. Pretty much something easy enough to step over. It's just you don't want to slip.
Right.
And I should point out something that is probably very key. Even though the power flight that you used to go over the snakes earlier still feels to be in play, it's important to note it is not the same kind of flight that Elohir is able to attain with her ring, which gives her maneuverability and, most importantly, the ability to hover. The power of flight that you guys have right now is entirely momentum based. You must keep moving in order to stay afloat.
Okay.
So with that in mind, basically you can't just kind of glide on over and land on the platform. You're basically going to have to do a calculated flying jump and make sure you don't overshoot or undershoot your mark. Kind of like a boat. So I almost was tempted to come up with some kind of video game where you guys had to play with your momentum, but this is theater of the mind after all. I think I should just have to describe it. Well, hopefully we'll be okay. So, let me see. I should probably add a
little. All right. Yeah. I guess let's just go across the bridge. What are we standing on now?
A black floor, and that's part of the problem is that you're not quite sure exactly where the void begins and ends.
Would it be pristinely clean, or might I assume that there may be some sand or pebbles?
Well, let me, it probably is very clean, but let's go ahead and double check the actual description, because I think my memory needs to be refreshed just as much as yours do. All right.
I mean, it's just got to be very minimal, something that I can use later, you know?
Yep.
Before anybody starts walking across that bridge, Kaelili is going to get a rope and offer to tie them to the rope. And, so if they do start falling, we can attempt to pull them up.
That's a good idea.
So,
all right, the descriptions are kind of separated, but so I will read both to you. So upon actually entering the square area that you're in, the floor, solid and comforting beneath the inner gate, has become a bottomless void whose darkness swirls and undulates, coalesces, and dissolves. A smell of decay and death, as from an ancient swamp, fills the chamber. Across the void can be seen the sanctuary wherein rests a fist-sized purple gem glowing in the darkness. and then it kind of reiterates itself in the second direction. So, floating in the void that surrounds it is the white marble altar upon which lies the huge gem, sparkling with inner light. So yeah, that's the difference. The big difference between it and the other ones. It actually seems to have an inner light to it. The altar is 8 feet long, 2 feet wide, 4 feet deep. It has no visible support, so it's just basically floating there in space. About the size of a clenched fist, the gem is a deep purple stone covered with tiny facets to form an irregular ball. Light pulses from within it, casting purple glimmers now and again.
We only get one use of our flight ability, right? From the special item.
We've already activated it.
Yeah.
It's running.
That's how we got across the other room.
Is it a continual actuation though, or what is it? Like once we've used it,
Look,
we've
give me a
expended
second,
it, and
I'm
it's
looking-
done.
I'm looking back to it.
There's probably a time limit because we still feel that it's active. It is a one-time use, so once the limit runs out, we're done. But the time limit hasn't quite run out yet.
Hopefully.
Oh, okay. Damn it. All right. So no, basically, if you used it to get over the snakes or the lotus blossoms, they will no longer function for you.
That's what I was wondering. That's kind of how I remembered it. It was going to be a single use, and okay.
Yeah.
As the description about 2 chapters earlier describes, they will, as you hold the gem fragments, they will have a feeling of flight.
Ooh,
In order to fly, they need only invoke the magic of Horus. The fragments will leap to the eyes of the PCs, which I remember us doing. So once that does that, that pretty much is its activation. They will know instinctively that they may fly only once. As soon as the magic has been invoked, any step that the PC makes will cause him or her to take flight. When he alights, the gem fragments will fall from his eyes and he will be able to fly no more.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't even get a chance to practice. It's like one shot, give it a go, hope you don't miss.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go across the bridge.
Swoop
Anybody want
across,
to go?
grab it, fly back.
Well, we already used it.
The only one who hasn't
Did
used
all
it
of
is
you
Miz,
use them?
because Miz
Yeah,
is a ferret in my pocket.
Ooh, Miz has still got it.
That's true. That's right. Miz rode along.
Miz, you want to
is a
take a
ferret
shoulder
in my
ride?
pocket.
Exactly.
You
what
want to take a
Miz-
shoulder
Mizram
ride? I'll do
doesn't
the
want to
walking.
hear. By staying behind, he becomes the only one who can do it.
We're bottlenecked into using your flight ability if we need it, Miz.
Miz.
Oh, sorry, I double muted myself. Don't.
Since the wizard has no real magical use, I'm just gonna hang out with my bow to deal with issues.
Yeah. I'm not
Even
able to
though-
get on Fantasy Grounds yet because my computer's not connecting to the internet, and it's and therefore I can't update. I have to take the puppy out. And then I will be listening, but I'm going to be on mute so that other conversations that might be happening
Okay. Well,
don't get
before
recorded.
before you go on mute, what do you want to be
Yep.
doing in this situation?
So whoever is going across on Mrs. Flight Gem should probably be should probably have a safety rope. But I'd rather not be the one to hold it. I would rather hand it off to the Goliath brothers because they're the strongest. And then I would rather stand back and shoot things if necessary.
Okay, makes sense.
All right, I'll be back as soon as possible.
So who is designated to step first?
I'd say Haig because he wants to
I'll
go
go.
across. I'll stay back here with the squishies.
Here are my thoughts. I'm curious if that final gap, even though it's only a half step
Foot and a half.
width,
Mhm.
yeah, it's roughly 3 feet is everybody's stride. So it's
Yep.
really only half a stride.
Yep.
You should be, it should easily be crossable. I'm not sure if there's a barrier there or if you have to have the flying magic to cross any sort of
Mm.
stop.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking if Miz wants to go for a shoulder ride, I'll take him across the bridge. Once we get to the gap, let him fly across to the star and then figure it out from there.
Quite honestly, if he's on your shoulder, it literally is not much more than a hop off your shoulder onto the altar.
True.
I mean, think about how far a foot and a half in front of your belly is going to be. That's what.
True, but you're also talking about the worst cat on the planet.
Ferret. I thought it was
Just
in ferret
just
mode.
say
Yeah,
it.
he's in ferret form, so
I mean, what could go wrong?
nothing.
Well, Miz,
I could toss you.
Obviously, the option of how to accomplish it is up to you. But I would say your feeling is that you don't need the power of flight. If he can get you to the edge of that bridge at least the same level as the altar.
Yeah, I will let carry me, and hopefully could do what needed in weasel form. If not, I might have to elf it out.
Now, the one question I do have is how much weight can you carry in ferret form?
Very good. Very good point.
I mean, should I give you my best Iron Man posies in ferret form?
You know, I obviously could look it up in Monster Manual and find out what the hell a weasel's strength is and convert it, but I think if we just agree that it probably can carry at least 10 pounds of weight, you should be okay.
I mean,
10 pounds might
they're
be a bit
attracted by
heavy.
the shinies, right?
Most certainly.
10 pounds might actually be a bit heavy for a ferret. We'll go with 5 pounds.
Could switch over to a raccoon. They can carry some heavy shinies.
That's true. Or he can turn himself into a gerbil and stuff it.
Let
in his
me
beak.
have a little look at my my nice options.
Repertoire.
Yeah. I've got normal owl. I've got giant owl. Got
Ah,
Oh, no, wait a minute, Miz.
I was gonna say magic is blocked here. Can you be anything?
Yeah, I think he is currently stuck in his existing form. You're not going to be able to do your
oh
switch.
no.
Oh no.
I just basically turn my little weasel head towards you. Tears start streaming down. I'm like, start grabbing you by your shirt and shaking it, going like I'm
Well,
panicking.
The
Weasel or
wizard
ferret,
says,
you're
"Now you
fine."
feel my pain."
Just turning pages in the spell book.
Oh man, I guess we're going. I guess you're going for moral support, Miss. All right. Was I able to get like any small pebbles or anything off the floor?
No, it's.
I
as
did
you-
have a
as
thought.
As you
Okay.
stated, it's pristine. Go ahead, Alex.
Even if 10 pounds is a little on the heavy side for him to carry, he should still be able to stuff it in a pouch or a bag and tie it to a rope.
He is very dexterous, that's for sure.
And then he can leap back onto or cling to the rope and have somebody pull him back.
Well, keep in mind, all right, starting over a little bit here. The point was to figure out how much weight he could carry, but the gem is not necessarily that big. I mean, if it was a piece of lead that size, yeah, I'd say he's probably not going to be able to get it off the pedestal.
Right.
But it's a gemstone. And he probably is going to be able to carry it. Or at least toss it. Probably don't want to toss it because you don't want to risk losing it. But with a rope attached to it, that's actually not a bad idea. So he's not so much scared about being able to pick it up, but just about whether or not he's going to be able to leap with it.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got hand axes I haven't used in forever, so I guess I will use those as my testing device. I'm going to take Miz with me and walk to the edge of the bridge. From the edge of the bridge, I'm just going to take one of my hand axes and toss it onto the pedestal. See what happens. See if it hits a wall, if anything weird happens. Yeah, I'm the one in white. Yeah, I can get there. Yeah.
All right. There we go. So Miz is technically in ferret form on the shoulder. You take a hand out. Go ahead and roll a 20-sided die.
Okay. In or out?
Out is fine.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
So you, with actually some warrior finesse, do a nice little.
I cornhole bag it onto the pedestal.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
you know it's an axe, so it actually sticks right into the top of it.
Okay. So no.
Not very deeply though. It's kind of like beginning to lean over. You know, you didn't give it enough force to really get that far into the marble, but enough that it actually is, you know, stood up for a second or two, and now it's kind of leaning over, clinks onto the surface.
All right, but no restriction of any kind. I didn't see any
flashes,
waiver
no-
of the air or
No flashes, no fire, no screams of pain, no sentient metallic objects, nothing like that.
All right. Well, I'm going to step over. Unless Miz, you want to take a leap first? You want to hop off my shoulder onto the pedestal?
Yeah, I can
Onto
do
the-
that.
All right, at a bare minimum, guys, I'm going to ask you to make at least a dexterity check. Just don't fumble it.
Oh,
Uh,
that's never good for me. So excellent. You go first, Miz.
Yeah, he's going to off you anyway, so.
Tower.
No, you're going to know if you miss.
Oh,
Ooh, low, but not a fumble.
All
Okay,
right,
so you basically scare the shit out of yourself.
Holy shit! I had a good dex roll. So excuse me.
Look at that.
I land awkwardly and I look at Goliath and I'm like, what the fuck? How can we do to me?
Yeah, you still have your +4, so you know the 5 still isn't quite that bad. You know, overall your roll is pretty good. But
I look at we're kind of looking at each other in
scare
surprise.
the shit out of you scare the shit out of yourself. You're like, okay, yeah, that was a little close. Maybe I was a little too confident on that. So you're not going to be quite so brazen going back across.
I imagine we're looking at each other like that Chris Pratt meme from Parks and Rec, where we're like, and I do a little
Yeah.
pirouette.
I don't know it, but I think I got a good image of it. Haig, on the other hand, yeah, he has no problem stepping across the 1.5 foot distance. Actually, there really isn't. There's nothing for you to step across, really, because all right, so you're standing at the edge of this thing.
It's about the width of my foot. I could probably have size 18
They're
shoes,
6
right?
inches wide. It's not really that much room for you. So yeah, you're kind of playing on the balance beam. So it's good that you have a good dex roll on there.
Jeez,
But you're on the edge of it, looking forward. There's 18 inches between you and the altar that comes up to roughly just below your waist. Your arm is longer than 18 inches, so you pretty much can almost reach the gem from where you are. You just kind of have to lean forward and maybe brace yourself up against the altar. Of course, you know, standing back upright, it stands the risk of slippage.
Yeah.
It's like just barely outside your casual reach.
That's I'm just thinking about it too, Miz. We're only halfway there. We have to make it back onto the balance beam.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't even need to leave the balance beam.
Oh, All right,
So
sweet.
basically, what I see transpiring without really too much more than intuitive thought is you walk up to it, you can basically reach the edge of the pedestal, but you can't reach all the way over to the gem. You could lean forward and brace yourself on the pedestal so that you could reach the gem, but you're kind of like, eh. Meanwhile, Mizram is sitting there looking at it, thinking about it, being a little bit cocky, but not too much so, hops onto it, realizes it's a little more slippery than he anticipated, slips towards the edge, but doesn't go over it. But now he's sitting right next to the gem. He can pretty much slap your hand. He can grab the gem, and he's like looking at it, and it's like, if you choose to touch it yourself, you could pretty much grab the gem and hand it to Haig, and all you have to do is hop back over to him.
So here's my intuitive thought too, jumping onto yours. I'm 6'2", so I'm fairly tall.
Right.
If I'm in that position, I'm leaving one foot on the gold bridge, other foot on the base of the pedestal, leaning on the pedestal and reaching out for the gem.
Okay.
I'm not even putting 1 foot off the bridge.
Okay. We already did the dexterity check, so you were able to successfully get yourself into that position where the gem is now within easy hands reach. So are you grabbing the gem?
Yeah, I most certainly am. To hand over to Haig.
Okay, so as soon as you take the gem, the inner light does fade. Doesn't disappear, but it does fade. It's not magnified anymore. Nothing else appears to happen. You don't feel any sensation from grabbing it other than the sense of accomplishment that is, the last one is in hand. I've got it now. And, Miz, you probably stop for a second to look at it. It's a mesmerizing gem. It's a big gem. In your ferret form, it's probably about half your size.
And then the entire place starts rumbling and a big ball comes rolling down out of the ceiling.
We all saw the animated Aladdin. We know what's happening next. Who's got the carpet?
You think what's happening next.
Do you know what I should do just for giggles? Soon I put my hand on it, I should tip my head back and just do a ferret screech like something bad happened. and then just look at you, just shrug my shoulders, and then just hand it to you.
Man.
All right. Well, that goes very smoothly. There's no fanfare. There's no rumbling, no seismic disturbance, no flash of light, no ethereal voice. The gem passes from Mizram's paws into the hands of the Goliath, and all seems well in Middle Earth.
Okay.
In favor, as the case may be.
Let's go back.
All right. You have to do one more dexterity check to make sure that you properly dismount from the pedestal and pivot your way back onto the narrow bridge in the
Fine.
right direction.
Oh, wait, that's still a -1, so it's a 14.
That's fine though. Yeah, like I said,
Sweet.
we're just avoiding the major fumbles. I'm certainly not looking to cast you into the void at this point, but
Oh my gosh.
that pretty much. Well, Miz, you're still kind of on the pedestal. Shall I?
I've got to leap back.
And
Okey-dokey.
presumably you're doing it before he dismounts, so you're just
Yes.
Well, I kind of envisioned him hopping back on. I'm reaching for him towards the gem. I figured he would hop back on my hand and up my arm, but I should have verbalized that.
And he's fine.
Sweet.
Especially after the previous roll where he realized, okay, this is not something I want to screw up. So he doesn't scurry as much as, make sure he's walking up your arm to your shoulder and wrapping his tail around your neck just to give himself a little stability. So we're cool, right, man? We're cool. I'm just going to put this right here for a moment. You don't mind. Yeah, I'll keep it out of your ear.
Whew. All right, let's walk back. All while thinking there's doom and gloom on the edge of time.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, just get back ahead to the right spot. No, that's not it. That's it.
Man, the cup of coffee I just had was so good. I want to have another one, but I know it'll give me the shakes.
Okay, actually, guess what? You didn't even have to do that.
Oh, sweet.
because the second that I was incorrect about the lack of fanfare and everything seems fine. As soon as Mizram grabs the stone, the floor becomes solid, the snakes disappear, and the lotus blossoms all close.
Oh. Well, isn't that nice?
Super nice.
All of the traps fizzle away and the floor becomes solid. How far beneath me was the floor? Was it level with the bridge or no?
Yes, level with the bridge.
Oh, sweet. Then I'm walking back.
And one other thing.
Oh boy.
Uh,
And here it comes.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can. And that just keeps playing, or you keep hearing it over and over.
What's that?
You didn't hear any of that?
It's noon. I think I heard somebody's clock tower go off in the background.
Yep.
Or for you, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's actually what you hear, and probably a lot more in the distance. It's a little clearer than it should have been. But yeah, that's coming in the distance, basically from the east northeast.
Well, that was impeccable timing. So we hear a clock in the distance, a clock bell.
Well, you hear a bell chiming. I don't know why you would think it's a clock.
Well, because I heard your bell and looked at my phone to see what time it was.
Well, okay, I can see that association, but yeah, there's nothing the character should necessarily deduce as a clock, but you do hear the sound of a bell chiming.
Huh. Oh gosh. Okay, so it could be an alarm bell drawing everything that we could possibly fight to somewhere.
Could be.
Oh,
Or it
my
could be
gosh.
just like, a horn saying we've collected all of the star gems.
Oh, celebratory bell?
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Like round one with the Ifrit. Ding ding.
Hmm.
Round one.
You said it was continuous, not singular, right?
Round one,
Right.
fight.
It keeps chiming.
Fight. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I got to come back. So I'm heading back to the group. Well, I'm already with the group.
Yeah, I presume actually at this point you guys are all heading outside of the temple entirely.
We should be heading to the obelisk. Is that what it is? It's got don't they have spots?
Well, as you head out of the temple, let me see if I can bring up that other map.
Look. Alex, was it the obelisk? Did it have? I can't remember. Did it have insets that we talked about putting the stones, but we were going to wait because we didn't want to put them in until we had all of them? Does that sound familiar?
There are insets. There are only 4 faces. You have 5 gems at this point.
Okay.
But as you... So this is the temple over here. As you head out and are not affected by the sounds bouncing off the walls, you realize that sound is coming directly from the obelisk.
I'm sorry, I got a text. You said it is coming from the obelisk?
Yes, the sound is coming directly from the obelisk.
Okay, so is the obelisk alerting us to come to it by sounding? I'm willing to go to the obelisk. Anybody else?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Anybody against?
I just stand on your shoulder, all tall and proud, with my one paw on my hip, and then just point my other paw out to the obelisk.
Okay.
I'm willing to go anywhere that gets me out of the no magic zone.
I think we're out of the no magic zone now.
No magic zone collapse when Miz picked up the gem?
I don't know. Try something. Try cantrip.
I'm sorry, what was
I'm-
that question again, Alex? What did you ask?
Does
me?
my ring work?
Yes, all the magic abilities or anti-magic is gone. Your magic is fully
Sweet.
restored
Okay.
from the moment Miz touched the gem. All that
Awesome.
happened at once. The floor solidified, the blossoms closed, the snakes disappeared, the bell started chiming.
For
And magic
whom the
started working
bell
properly again.
tolls.
Okay.
And magic started working properly again.
Awesomenesses.
The group marches on. To... Okay. Sorry, that's stuck in my head now. Okay. So I guess we head to the obelisk.
Making our way to the obelisk.
Stop for.
Just realized.
Do we need anything from the boat? Oh, Conlon, we have a Mandor, homie.
Down in there. So that's the time that basically you're leaving the temple. So you're heading up there. It's dark or just after dusk, I should say. We are getting a little later in the year. So yeah, maybe it's about 2.5 hours after dark. So we head on up past the temple of Baldur, that earthen mound, and make our way up to the obelisk, which the chime continues to get louder and louder as you get closer, confirming that it does seem to be indeed coming from the obelisk itself. It seems that
Having a hard time hearing you, boss.
Yeah.
What was that?
Having a hard time hearing you.
Sorry. Better?
Much better.
Okay. Man, this thing really wants me to be halfway down my throat. All right, so you make your way around the palisade, go past the Temple of Baldur, you make your way up to the courtyard on the north side where the obelisk is. As you proceed up that direction, the chiming is obviously coming from the obelisk. In fact, it is probably what is emanating the sound itself. You can almost see it vibrating with each chime that goes off. Nothing is visibly different, but the sound is definitely coming from the obelisk.
Okay.
The ball is Clark, as they say.
Yeah, I just can't remember if we put the other gems. I thought there were insets again for the gems, but I can't remember if we actually used those insets yet. Like, did we drop the other gems
Not
off
on this-
into the insets or no?
Not on this obelisk.
No, correct.
Not on this obelisk.
Where did we do it?
There was
The
first
obelisk that pointed us to this one?
the obelisk that pointed you to the cursed city across the glass sea. Remember, as you were following the trail, the Sand Voyagers trail, along with the restored River Athos, you were looking for the cursed city. You weren't sure where it was. You found an obelisk that also had a single gem indentation in it. And when you put the gem in there, that obelisk fell down and pointed towards this direction where you found the cursed city. You have not put any gems into any of the facets on the four sides of this obelisk. And to reread the description, because I realize it's been a while, An obelisk stands tall in the center of the northern city square. Its base is 25 feet square, and its height is well over 100 feet. The slanting walls are polished and reflective, save at the base, wherein are etched inscriptions in the ancient alphabet. This is the one that they didn't translate for me. The inscription on the east and west sides is long, probably of several sentences. That on the north and south sides is but a few words, and beneath it is a fist-sized indentation. Now, you have translated the inscription on all four sides. The north and south side is identical, as is the east and west ones. The longer one, let's see, make sure. They do have these mixed up, unfortunately. So in one place, they say the longer one is on the north and south side, and on the other one, it indicates that the longer one is on the east and west side. So I will attempt to try to make this as consistent as possible. My apologies if I mess it up. But so the longer inscription reads, or is translated as, stars hidden from sunlight by the sun. 4 tests must ye pass before it shines forth. To hunt treasure, ye must treasure hunt. From the gods their gifts seek. Cleanliness is next to godliness. When ye have a friend's tears, the fiery gift, and the hawk's wings, carry ye the 14 golden links to bridge the swamp. Only then can mortals hear the chimes, and then may the star light the way. The shorter inscription on the other 2 sides simply reads, or is translated, in its appointed time shall man arise from his ignorance, and reaching for the stars, offer them in wisdom.
Okay. And you said there was, is there anything, I missed it, the dogs were out. Is there anything other than the inscriptions?
Just the fist-sized indentation underneath each one of them.
That's what I'm wondering. Do we
As
try to
said,
fit
there's
it in the?
there's 4 of those. There, but you have 5 gems.
Do we try to fit them in to position? See if there's, are they all relatively the same size, or will the gems only fit in a certain order?
It looks like
Like-
they're all about the same size.
Hmm.
There's no indication or suggestion that you can detect that suggests that any specific gem goes in any specific slot.
Throw them in.
My gut says we started, yeah. So either all 4, and there's indentations on all 4 sides.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the star gem will light the way. Let's do it.
So did we already use the other 4? So they're used up, or do the 4 we have started with open up something for the 5th? That's my question. I guess we can just try. I don't know. However you guys want to try it. If we start with the 5th that we just got and put it in, like, I don't know, the north position, I guess, just to, I don't know, either or, either way, I don't care. Those are my thoughts. Either the 4 open up another slot.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, we have 5 gems. Well, maybe we place the 4 and the 5th one is like the compass that lights the way.
Could be. Hopefully that's Mom's. Well, Alex, you got, I guess I'm kind of waiting for your input because I think you have the gems, right?
Well, except for the
I
last.
have the 4, yeah.
Haig has the last one, the Star of Melos Pilar.
Yeah, but I've got the 4, and I believe, as a player, I believe that the description given was that somebody thinks that this last gem is like the master gem, the control gem, the focal point of the whole gem system.
Could be.
And if that is correct, and they have shared that information with the group, then I would suggest we put the other 4 gems in this obelisk. If they have not shared that information, or I am remembering incorrectly, then I might not suggest that. But
I don't think anything you've stated is inaccurate.
okay.
But the question remains, what action do you want to take based on that?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for input from other people, unless they just want me to try stuff.
I've given my input, and my
Yep.
my suggestion is contingent on whether or not somebody else's character has communicated the information to my character.
Yeah.
I
We're all
agree with
standing
the
here
putting
talking.
the four non-master ones in first and then see what happens.
But just to be clear,
But did we
also,
know that?
Alex, I also don't think that's any information that anyone need to relay to you. You were present in the room when it was
Okay.
retained. You would have noticed that this gem has an inner light, unlike the other ones.
Okay. In that case, then yes, I would suggest putting the 4 that I have, and we do it like we did the last one. We get 4 people we get all 4 gems in sockets simultaneously rather than one at a time.
Okay, so
I dig it.
I think that's a good idea, but that means we have to detail who is holding which gem and putting it into which face.
Right.
All right, so to refresh our memory of all the star gems, wow, that was really lucky. Okay. The Star of Mopilar, a fist-sized opal, which you got from the pyramid. The Star of Agapilar, a huge sapphire of midnight black with a star of purest white. This was the one that was in the crypt that kept Calatarius imprisoned. The Star of Shah Pilar is a large faceted ruby. And this was given to Badr al-Mozak. So that was the last one you received prior to this one. And then the Star of Khan Pilar, which was the enormous clear crystal that was buried in the oasis of the White Palm. And then finally, the most recently found Melos Pilar, the amethyst ball. So actually, yeah, it looks like, as opposed to the other ones all being gem-shaped, Melos Pilar is a ball of amethyst. That being said, they all 5 still seem to have the same setting side. So even though the shape of the last one is slightly different, placing them into a setting or into these indentations, they would all have the same shape on that side.
Well, I was worried about is there a way to intuit which gem goes into what side?
There does
I
not
guess
seem to be any indication of differentiation other than 2 sides have a shorter inscription and the other 2 sides have a longer inscription.
Can we look
about-
at our map and maybe figure out which direction?
I was just gonna say that too, bro.
Yeah,
Exactly.
where we found them
Is
in
there
correlation to the obelisk we're at now.
correct?
You guys should be able to call up the map. If not, I think I can probably bring it up and force it to be reshared.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, look at that. I actually hotkeyed it. Gotta love it.
Okay, so Yeah, that's not going to help us terribly much because we've acquired all of them in a generally southern direction from where we are now. So unless we can associate something else as the center point of where we acquired them, it's not going to help us because in relation to the obelisk that we're looking at now, everything's southish.
Well, and at the same time, we're also speculating that there is a trick. There might not be a trick. Let's just set them in there.
There might not be.
Let's just set the 4 in there and see if something happens. Then we can decide if we have to overthink it or not.
Okay, so are you setting all 4 in at once?
I would say yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
we were
Actually, I'm going to
working
say,
on.
in the absence of tight coordination, you do not manage to succeed in actually getting all of them inserted at exactly the same time. What you do notice is that as soon as one of you places one of the gems into the indentation, the chime becomes muted. Adding another gem, the third or a fourth gem, doesn't change the sound. But once you start removing the gems, when you take out the last gem, the sound of the bell becomes full volume again.
So one gem mutes it, but doesn't get rid of it. And then consecutive gems don't do anything different.
Correct.
So one gem was in the right spot. Would be my
Well, we
presumption.
didn't specify which gem was which. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say that the one gem we haven't used yet, I'm going to put that in.
The Star of Melos Pilar, the big ruby. Okay.
Correct. The final gem.
All right. Good job, Matt.
Dan.
All right.
God damn it. All right, Dan.
We're twins on purpose. We're twins on purpose.
Yeah, Albie and his psionic companion is probably the only one that's messed with my head as much as you guys have. All right. Haig definitely gets a inspiration point. Both for reward for me keep mixing them up and also for making the right decision here finally. Now let's get to the content. All right. So as soon as the amethyst ball is placed into God, they make me jump around way too much. There it is. All right. As soon as you place the Star of Melos Pilar into the hollow under any one of the inscriptions, the chiming stops entirely. And you then hear a soft but thoroughly commandingly penetrating voice come from the obelisk and speak as follows. The sphere of power retrieve. This then is destiny's decree. Doom and death with no reprieve. This is the ancient prophecy. Go ye to his mighty tomb, where sky meets shore and sky again. There sound the note, dispel the gloom, and bring the light to entrance gain. At that point, the star gem flares into a sudden brilliance, lit from deep within it.
Can you back up a little, Keith? I ended up getting a phone call. So
okay.
What happened since we set the gem?
The obelisk started speaking to all of you. I'll put it into the text as soon as I'm done.
Thanks.
So after the first,
good, thank you.
after the first part goes, the gem alights in a full flare of glory. Brilliant purple light just bathing everything. At this time of night, it probably could be seen for miles. And as it flares into brilliance, the voice continues in a slightly different tone. The gem before you takes the power to light the way toward Martek's tower, where, if survive those here assembled, all shall see their finest hour. And the gem extinguishes, and falls into the square. Now I will copy that, post it into chat, and then we'll take our 15-minute break or 10-minute break.
Oh, geez, it is that time
Cool.
already, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
yeah.
first.
Elohir is going to collect the gems again unless somebody objects and refuses to hand over the gems, just because that's just
I have no
making
connection
sure
to
that
him.
nothing gets
Yeah.
forgotten or left behind. If somebody wants to hold on to one of them, whether they have a specific preference or not, she doesn't care. She just wants to make sure that we don't leave them behind. We
No,
might
it's all yours.
still need them.
Yeah, grab them.
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
All
I
right.
will collect them all again.
Yeah, I'm gonna first post it into
All right.
this.
I guess
Well,
we're taking a break.
So when you said the molus pilar fell into the square, it just means it fell out of the obelisk and onto the ground? That's what
Yeah,
you meant?
basically.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like.
So you have all 5. Okay. Sounds good to me. And I'm going to go have a slice of this banana oatmeal bread that just came out of the oven.
Oh, that sounds so delicious.
Oh, man. I made it with honey and sugar substitute, so it shouldn't spike my sugar.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yummy.
All right. So back to it in 10, Keith, or?
Yeah, about 10:15. I just trying to get this posted quick. I
Cool.
have to do a picture to text conversion, so I just want to edit it quick and try to get it as clean as possible. What the hell?
Gremlins, probably.
Discord. Well, I've converted it to text, and I'm able to paste it in text in several different places, but Discord keeps insisting on turning it back to the image, and I'm like, huh? Okay, that's copy. What the fuck? That is right. All right. I just posted it. There we go. Editing here. This is why I wanted to do it in Discord in the first place. All right. That's annoying. What the hell? There we go. I gotta paste into 2 other programs. There we go. All right, it's in the general channel, and I will copy this over to game. There we go. So it's in chat, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the Zoom session. We'll see everyone back here at 22. All right, we're back now from our break. I will point out that there's a couple of minor errors in the text that I pasted in Fantasy Ground. So for the players, definitely look at the text in the Discord campaign play channel. And I will go over what it says once more.
You're kind of quiet, Keith.
This is actually not set up as well as I would like. All right, let me read it from here. I sound better now?
Bit,
A lot
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
All right. So the obelisk, after you place the star of Melos Pilar into one of the indentations, stated the following. The sphere of power retrieve. This then is destiny's decree. Doom and death with no reprieve. This is the ancient prophecy. Go ye to his mighty tomb, where sky meets shore and sky again. There sounds the note, dispel the gloom, and bring the light to entrance gain. The star gem then flashed in brilliance, and the voice continued. The gem before you takes the power to light the way toward Martek's tower, where, if survive those here assembled, all shall see their finest hour. So that pretty much, in case you didn't figure it out, is your next clue. But you now have all 5 star gems. Went through them. I think, unfortunately, double check something. Inventory list is getting really freaking long. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I've got to set the entry for Melos Pilar. We'll put that into your inventory. But what you do get at this point is experience. Fortunately, not enough to get you up another level. But
Okay.
just recently hit 8th, if I remember correctly, in terms of game time.
Yeah.
And you're all just a hair shy of 40,000 now. So you're about roughly 8,000 away from hitting 9th level. And I'm feeling like you guys will hit 9th level before we hit the end of the campaign. I don't think 10th. But I've got some ideas. All right. So the time after all of that does leave us a little later in the evening. You fumbled with the obelisk and getting over there. What do you want to do now? The night is still young, given that you do most of your travel at night. Actually, I would think there's a player or character discussion in order, given the additional information that has just been given to you.
Yeah, I mean, now we have to figure out, okay, so now where?
Yep. Cue the party debate.
Second. I'm going to look at this again. Where sky meets shore and sky again. So sky meets shore and sky again could be the reflection of the sky on the glass and the beach. Sound the note, dispel the gloom.
Unknown caller.
Okay, so the gem is supposed to light the way for us, but it extinguished and fell to the ground.
When we get to the right area, it is supposed to light up and show us the entrance, but we haven't necessarily gotten to the right spot for it to light up and illuminate the entrance for us.
Oh, crud. I just closed my map.
Oh
Oh, well.
Yeah, they're not going to give it all to you, you know. Okay. Maps up also at this point.
I'm lost. I don't. Where sky meets shore and sky again. There sound the note, dispel the gloom, and bring the light to the entrance gain. No, bring the light to entrance gain. The gem before you takes the power to light the way toward Martek's tower.
The sky and shore and sky again sounds like that glass lake.
Well, that's yeah, I was saying that before. It seems like the reflection off the glass and the shore where we already are. But where haven't we been on the shoreline? Haven't we been pretty much everywhere? Are there any spots on the map that we haven't seen yet? Or looked at? I guess we can kind of look to see if there were any other changes in the places around us.
You definitely have not covered the whole perimeter of the lake.
Have not covered the whole perimeter. All right, I'm going to take that as a clue. Maybe we should keep looking around, guys. Which map are we on right now, Keith, so I can pull it out of the images?
I just shared it. It would be the overland map. I believe that's how it's described. Yeah, overland map.
I'm looking for the one that's the beach.
The ruins of the city around Glass Bay.
Runes are okay. Okay. Might have to wait for that to load. It's only black right now.
Didn't we find a broken altar here or something like that? Or was that someplace else?
I think that was the first obelisk that you came across.
I am not sure.
I think it was someplace else.
I think in the absence of any other information, we should keep going around the shore.
Just keep looking around and making sure that we hit everything. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to see. I don't understand why if I open the image from the images tab, it's all blackness. I can't see anything. So I can't make any guesstimations. So if anybody who can see wants to direct, I will follow.
Have we been to those ruins in the southern area? Like southeast? Right near the shore?
Actually, across from the obelisk?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's go check that out.
I mean, I think we, walked through them, but we didn't like explore them or anything.
Right.
I'm also wondering if we follow the path away from the obelisk, the northwest-ish.
So let's go. Yes.
Direction.
I just X'd out the map accidentally.
Dude, that's what I did. Like, dang it.
Yeah, and mine blacked out now too. That is weird.
All right. So which way are we heading? Main map.
Helps if I unmute before I talk.
Yeah, it usually does.
Usually.
Keith, I think I heard you say something, but I couldn't really hear you. I've got the map up. It loaded
keep
just
doing
fine
that.
for me.
I keep moving the mic around in order to see a different screen, and then I forget to put it back in front of my face. I got to come up with a better mic setup that doesn't get in my way, so I don't keep moving it.
Apparently.
So on the desert map, I put the icons so that we can see where you guys are all at the moment. Now, don't forget, you also still have your player maps. Let me see if I can remember where those are. So the overland map is actually, supposed to be an overhead representation, but the player maps are what was given to you way back when. Now, let's see.
Yeah. Scroll map and scroll map 2.
Yep, those two. That sounds right. I can't find them myself at the moment, but that's all. Desolation there. There we go. Player map south, player map north. So I would say between what was just stated to you and those two maps, you should have the information you need. I think you guys did finish translating the inscriptions on the maps, or at least your versions of them.
Between scroll map and scroll map 2, you said? Alex, or
Yeah.
you said Alex and
Between
he and
scroll map 2 and the actual overland map. Scroll map south, you don't really need to worry about anymore.
and there's a whole lot. And Mendonet is where we're at now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too much on that map.
My overland map is black too.
Really?
All of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try zooming out and see if there's an area that's highlighted. Maybe you're just zoomed in on an unrevealed area.
Well, I hit the zoom to fit, and I have the honeycomb and then just a black background.
Yep, that's what happened to me too.
Really?
That's not what I've got.
And nor does the shared screen. It's got a full map too.
Yeah, once I closed it by accident and opened it back up,
That's-
it was gone.
Exactly.
Let me try sharing.
That's exactly what happened to me too.
Let me try sharing it again and see if that helps. All right, so this is the overland.
There it is.
That's the overland, yep.
So we still have north to travel. The northwest is the river still flows northwest, or road, or whatever that is.
River.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, we could just continue to go that way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe there's another sea of glass. I don't know.
All right, remember, getting over the Sea of Glass is not meant for travel on foot.
Right, we got to take the schooner or whatever that thing is.
The cloud.
Gotta take the boat.
Skiff. Yeah.
They refer to it as a cloud skate. And
Okay.
so remember, it's a very unique vessel because instead of using cloth sails to capture wind, it uses sails of woven bronze to capture solar radiation.
Oh yeah.
It's a thermal vessel, not a air vessel. Oh, it definitely a very interesting contraption. It would send a gnome into an ecstatic orgasm. All right. So which way are, presuming that you don't have any issues, I'm going to double check just to make sure the gods are not ignoring you. Which way do you plan on moving out of the island?
My brain is not working, and I might have to drop
To
out
the-
early because
I was gonna say
I
to-
can't think.
To the northeast, towards the mouth of the little inlet there. Is that what you mean? Like, I don't know.
You mean
I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering where that paved path leads.
Oh, on the island?
Yeah, we didn't actually explore down there.
So you mean this paved path that extends to the northwest?
I can't hear you, Keith.
The path that extends to the northwest, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
we haven't walked down there.
That would be a party call.
I'm in. Gotta explore all the
I mean-
all the places.
I do think that the chances that our destination is going to be that close and that directly connected to where we're getting the clue are pretty slim, but I still have to explore it.
I'm a completionist, and I'm still bothered that we never
Exactly.
finished the maze. So
That you didn't what?
that we never finished the maze.
I thought you guys did do almost that whole maze.
Did we?
Yeah, I guess maybe almost is not enough for a completionist.
No.
Not
Nope.
for
I-
a completionist, not enough.
My gut says we missed at least one or two more items in that place that would have been, I don't know, maybe not worth anything, but I feel like we missed stuff. And I could be wrong, but I hate
Yeah,
that
but-
feeling.
We spent how many sessions
Oh yeah.
in that pyramid.
Oh yeah, that definitely lasted a while.
Oh, I'm not arguing. It's kind of like that session, though, that area was the same as this area. We were been in it forever. And I'm,
No, we
Yeah.
spent longer in that pyramid than we have in this city.
Yeah, I think this feels about as long because we've had a few skip sessions, so the time seems really long.
Yeah. So yeah, Kale is not actually gonna really say a whole lot, but she is gonna kind of like look
Oh,
at
I'm
that
in.
path.
Yeah, is there loot?
So that's if she gets people, if she senses that people are interested in going that way, she will just start walking. Or
I'm in.
If we have not
gliding.
explored that direction yet, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it.
The cartographer
So,
says
yeah.
we need to go that way.
Whoa! Somebody's got background noise.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Someone's
that's me.
hammering away.
I am building a key core for work.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, Kale is just gonna start walking down that path then if she senses that there's at least one other person interested in going that way.
All
She's
right,
just
so-
gonna start gliding that direction.
So looking back at the Zoom screen and the map that I have up there, the ruins of the city, you guys are all currently at the obelisk, and there's an archway right there to the north west that extends or protrudes over the causeway that leads to the northwest, roughly. And
Yeah,
that
northwest.
that description, again, forgive my inconsistency, it's meant for daytime description. I'm going to try to modify it on the fly to reflect the fact that it is nighttime. Though you do have enough of a moon out, the effect shouldn't be too different. But what you see is a white outcropping leading northwest straight through the mountain peaks, which flank it to either side. Its level, flat surface has been polished smooth, and it is apparent that it has been used as a roadway. So white is the roadway that it hurts the eyes even to look at. Even in the moonlight, it still is very, very bright. In the daytime, it would be impossible to see through it. It is that bright the way the walls and the light reflect against it, so it's kind of feels like an impenetrable area during the day, especially in the intensity of the heat. The light just kind of adds to it and says, "Yeah, there's nothing up there, just white void." But yeah, so the reflected light rebounds from the rocks on either side to form an impenetrable barrier of light as to what lies beyond. So you can kind of see the details. You can see that the causeway leads up into the mountains, or actually through the mountains to the northeast. But you can barely see through it at night. You kind of wonder what it must be like in the daytime when the full glare of the sun is just being repeatedly bounced inside the chasm to the north. But yeah, I would definitely say if you're going to go that way, it's better to go at night than in the day.
The archway have any markings or inscriptions or anything on it?
No inscriptions or anything. And again, even in the moonlight, it's very, very difficult to focus on any kind of details. It's strangely bright through there.
Okay. Let's follow the path.
Actually, I should point out that you can travel about 2 miles from the city. And I'll update the time accordingly before the light really gets that hard to look through. So you can kind of see it up into the mountains, but as soon as you get into the area that's surrounded by the white marble cliff sides, the reflected light gets so intense that even at night you cannot see beyond maybe 10-20 feet. And you all find this very unusual because you're used to having not enough light to see, but this is probably the first time most of you have had too much light to see. It also means that any kind of dark vision doesn't really help you here. Do you want to proceed down the channel?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, let's see. This might take a little bit. All right. Well, wait a minute. All right. Sorry about the inconsistency. Yeah. Damn it. Once the party is about the reflected light dissipate to reveal the obelisk in the city square. However, the length
Keith,
of
I can't hear you.
Mute, Dan. Dan, you got to mute.
Sorry.
All right. So, quote from the book. Once the party is about 2 miles from the city, the reflected light will dissipate to reveal the obelisk in the city square. You're already there. I'm not revealing anything. But it states that it's a range of about 2 miles that you are not blinded by the light. However, the length of the whole damn causeway is only a half mile. So looking at the map and the scale, yeah, basically, all right, we'll try to ignore actual distance numbers. And I don't have too much more space, but I'm going to draw an arrow is fine. So past about this point on the road, heading northeast, you get surrounded by the mountains. Even in the moonlight, you cannot see more than about 10 feet ahead of you. Not because it's too dark,
Okay.
because it's too bright.
Okay.
Once you get past that point, you're shielding your eyes. It's too bright to look at. Even if you had such a thing as sunglasses, you'd still be kind of like wincing and wow, this is just. And you're thinking about you don't want to be anywhere near this place when the sun comes up. This is just what the moon does. But you proceed that
Yeah.
way. You're not running into, and there's no pain. You're not being blinded or anything else like that. You suspect you might be blinded in the daytime. But the road continues through the mountains, and it's hard to describe because in terms of the construction of it, everything around it definitely looks very natural. And to a certain extent, even the causeway itself seems like a natural road. It's not like well fitted paved stones or anything like that. But the degree to which everything has been honed and flattened and polished feels slightly more man-made than natural. So you're kind of getting mixed feelings as to whether or not this was intentional or not. But there can be no argument. This causeway is straight and true. Interpret that how you want. And you are able to travel roughly about a half mile, maybe a third of a mile before you come to the shore of the cursed island. So back over to this
Okay.
one. Let me expose this a little bit more. Let's do it. So you find yourself following the causeway until you come up to the shore up around here. Other than that,
Walk the perimeter.
I mean, there could be stuff you've missed. Like I said, you're shielding your eyes, you're averting yourself from the brightness. There could potentially be a lot of detail that's obscured, but at this point, you have not noticed much of anything. And actually, the sight of the glass sea beyond, it's more reflective, but it doesn't have the mountains magnifying the reflection at this point. So it's actually a lot easier to look upon with your eyes at this time of night, which we are now going to say is getting closer to about 9:30 p.m.
Kelly is just going to start walking the perimeter of the island.
Which way? Counterclockwise or clockwise?
Counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Everyone following her, or are we splitting up for a trek around the island?
Never split the party.
Always split the party.
Yeah, it depends on who's running the campaign.
And depending on how many healers we have.
Yes. As a DM, obviously it's easier for me to keep you guys in one group, but I try. Some of the funnest experiences happen when the party decides to go in separate directions. So I try not to.
True.
Try not to limit you guys. But as a general rule of thumb,
I'll stay with.
I'll agree with never split the party up unless you're trying to fuck with the DM.
Well, as a weasel, I am quite blessed. Whoever decides to carry me whichever way they want to go. So
You typically hang out with me.
well, if that pocket available, I'm in there. I've got to admit, you're the most luxury ride, being you hover everywhere.
Yeah, but I do occasionally do, some aerial acrobatics. So you take your chances.
I certainly do.
Barak, as you guys approach the shoreline, or I should say more accurately, as you are on the shoreline, considering which direction to turn, and while Kaeluli is considering a turn to the southwest to follow the island shoreline, counterclockwise as she suggested, you notice a glimmer coming from the shoreline to the north, across the remains of the glass sea, but you do see something glimmer from in the starlight. And you only see it for a moment. It's like, your eye just catches the right angle just as you walk past, and you're like, what was that? And you're like kind of bouncing your head around a little bit, and all of a sudden you see the glimmer again, and you can't quite hold it, but you can kind of find it. But it'd be almost impossible for you to get someone else to see it at exactly the same angle, especially given your height. You might be able to get your brother to see it, but it's one of those things that you just got to hold your head just right, and you see the glimmer. And all it is like, someone flashing a signal mirror from, 3-4 miles away.
Let's go.
Well, Varric, keep in mind, you're the only one that sees it at this point. Everyone else is looking at KLE because she wants to go southwest.
Oh, I will.
That was Haig.
Yeah, that was Haig. If I see that, though, I will inform the group.
Well, Haig definitely failed the perception check. Varric definitely succeeded it with a natural 20.
Well, now that he's told the group, let's go.
Yeah, actually, Haig, because you rolled so low, I'm going to rule that he just can't point it out to you. You're not seeing what he's seeing. And no one else can quite make it out because you just don't have the angle, the height angle that he has.
I will follow you wherever you will go.
Well, how are you going to follow at this point? Keep in mind, you left the cloud skate back in the bay.
Son of a.
Are you going to walk across the glass sea at this time of night?
If he's trying to point it out to everyone, I can get up to his eye level without too much effort.
If you really want to basically do the equivalent of take a 20, then yes, you will be able to get up to his eye level and bounce around and spend the time until, oh yeah,
So she
there
can
it
use her
is,
ring and float.
it's gonna fade out of your sight
Right.
just as quickly too.
Right.
But
Right.
if you're-
Okay. So if he's trying to see it, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I want to spend that much time on it, but I will acknowledge
I'll put
that,
it this way. If you're convinced that he's telling the truth and it's just a matter of seeing where it's coming from as opposed to verifying whether or not he's actually seeing it, then yes, you will be able to find the glimmer.
okay, because I'm going to trust that what he is seeing is real, and I just want to see if I can, find the direction for myself.
That makes absolutely perfect sense. And with that in mind, on the main map, let me add an arrow so you can see where it's coming from. Let's see. Square. Shitty looking square, but that's where it's coming from. No, I'm not going to do an arrow. That just takes up way too much space.
Oh, over there. Okay. Then I'm up for following it. I don't think anyone else is going to be able to walk across the glass lake.
You might be able to make it across at this time of day or night, I should say. But yeah, if you don't want to be stuck there. So it's really, do you want to spend the time to go back and get the cloudscape? If this doesn't prove to be anything worthwhile, it might be nice to have cloudscape to come back across or go to the other side without having to circumnavigate.
Right.
And this is just not allowing me to place the arrow anywhere but where the hell do you turn off snap now?
Sometimes snap to grid causes issues with precision placing, as does because snap to grid forces you into specific sections of, you can only do corners and centers.
I was trying to.
If you turn, there we go.
Yeah. All right. So
if you turn off snap to grid, then you can put it wherever you want.
There's where it's pointing to. The shoreline, okay. Not so much inside that hex grid.
Right. Okay.
So that means it's literally what, 3 hex sides worth of travel at 5 miles. Yeah, you're talking about 15 miles in 9 hours. Actually, no, not even that much. Sorry, that would be 10 miles in 5 hours in 9 hours.
So,
might be a bit risky. You can cover that distance a lot quicker in the cloud skate. You just have to walk the half mile back to the skate and then take the channel back out the northeast side.
Right. And okay, so we can probably so if we want to go back and get the cloud skate, we got a couple options. Somebody Kayla is willing to stay here and have you pick her up in the cloud skate so that she can keep the direction in her head fairly easily, or we can all go back and get the cloud skate and just hope that we remember exactly where we saw it.
If we're gonna split the party, I think somebody else should stay too, just in case.
Yeah. It will be easier to keep the direction in my head if I stay where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And I can
But-
see it. Vara can see it, right?
I think Varric and Kaelali have both seen it at this point.
Yeah. So I think the two of us stick around and everybody else go grab the thing and we can.
And then they
Right
come
across.
around and pick us up, and then we can go from here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back. You guys are going to hold here.
Mm-hmm.
If it takes us, depending on the time it takes us to get the skate and come around, do you guys have comfortable sleeping quarters?
Probably figure it out. I mean,
Well, isn't this area was like super, super hot?
Just a reminder,
remember right.
it's only about 9:30 at night. The cloud skate is only about 5,000, 1,500, 2,000.
Yeah, it's not going to take you
It's
guys
about
that long.
3,000 feet away. Unless you get captured or fall into a trap or something that, holds you up for an extended period of time, there really
You
is no
say-
reason to think that you won't be back before dawn.
3,000 feet, you said?
Yeah, roughly about that.
Oh, so 2/3 of a mile. Okay, 3/5 of a mile.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
that far. You don't have to go that far to
Okay.
get to the skate, and then it's a bit further because you have to go around the island with the
Well,
skate.
wait a
But
sec- Isn't the
it's
skate driven by
not-
sunlight?
It can also be
Heat.
powered by moonlight.
Okay,
If
then we're
if
good.
there's enough moon, it can still
Okay.
turn the light energy. It's not so much that the moon energy is enough, but the reflection off of the sky sea is enough to concentrate it that it can move the boat, though somewhat slower.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right, so who is going back to get the boat?
It sounds like at least Haig.
will go back.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Haig and Redrith, at
Okay.
least.
All right, so Hagen and Redreth are going to head on back. Oh, I'm not going to bother putting that on the thing. And that's going to take you, like I said, about another half hour to get back over there. Maybe a little bit more. And then probably about another 10 or 15 minutes to secure the rigging and get the boat ready to sail out. You guys saw that one, huh? No, you didn't. All right. And so you don't run into any issues getting that back down there. While we're at it, let's check the other side. Hold on, I'm being back in. I got a cat issue. I'll be right back. Oh.
You want me to?
What?
Still there?
Yeah, Keith just got called away real quick.
Oh, I heard the dude. Wondered if I got kicked out. Excuse me.
All right, sorry about that, folks. My wife decided to feed the kittens, and the adult cats were all like, "Oh, what you got?" Well, we're about to start a big old fight. All right, we all still there? You hearing me?
Yep. Can
Yep.
you hear?
Hearing you.
Welcome back.
Okay. Good. All right, so Hagen Redreth went down to the Cloudscape, right?
Correct.
Rest of you are sitting up top on there. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys got lucky. I rolled a 1, but actually out of the tower, so it didn't register in the log. So just like I make you guys reroll, I rerolled myself, and you got saved. So you're stay waiting for the Cloudscape. The rest of you is uneventful. Those of you grabbing the Cloudscape, you sail up through the channel. You turn. Where's my mask button? Take you around the edge here. Sail around. We're looking at. Yeah, it's just a little over a mile, like about 6,000 feet worth of travel to get around there. But you're on the Cloudscape, which goes a lot faster. So basically, between everything, the group is not left waiting more than it's about 11 o'clock at night. So it's about an hour and 20 minutes that you guys are waiting for them to come back around. And you're able to do so uneventfully. Nothing bothers you. As you're sailing by, both Redreth and Haig do occasionally see the glimmer coming from that shore. So at least 3 of you now at this point have seen. There's obviously something directing you up there that's reflecting the light. And so far, between the gems and crystals and everything else, Martech seem to have a thing for reflection.
Clearly.
All right, so you're all rejoined on the shore. I'm presuming everyone else is getting back on the Cloudscape.
Yep.
Get rid of that. We'll get rid of that map. So we're back on the main map. And you guys are sailing northward. And as you get closer to the shore, each one of you slowly in turn catches the glimmer that comes off of something up in this direction. Sometimes it's a light blue, sometimes it seems more of a purple, other times it's just a straight up white light. And it's a very, very pinpoint of light, but very, very bright when you catch it, not unlike a bright star. And then we're roughly going to say it's about 1:30 in the morning by the time you finally get close enough to the shore. And all right, so this is what we're going to do here. Is that it? No, 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 no. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to give you a visual thing, but it's one of those AI productions, and so it's not exactly correct. So if there's any discrepancy in the verbal description I give you, as opposed to what you see, default to the verbal description. Let me see if I can find the damn verbal description. I'm sorry, getting myself lost around this huge thing lately. Where is it? Oh, there we go. All right. In the distance, as you come across to the shore, and actually more along the lines of where that arrow was originally placed, so just kind of beyond, you can see what looks like some kind of crystal structure that has been reflecting the moonlight and sending it back in your direction. As you get closer and closer to the object, it obviously has become, the reflections are becoming more frequent and brighter. You can tell that there are a lot of random facets on whatever this thing is, but it's definitely something reflective. We can't quite tell the size of it yet, though. Okay, gang, ball's in your court.
The only one way to go, right?
Well, presuming you're going to disembark from the ship, otherwise, yeah, I don't think you're going to have a lot of fun trying to get the cloud skate over up on the sand.
Yeah.
It's probably, you're guessing it's probably about a mile to 2 miles distant inland, or beyond.
And what time is it? 1:30 in the morning, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. We should probably get off the boat and start walking. But I'm apparently about done. I'm trying not to fall asleep
Well,
again.
we're down to the last 10 minutes of the session. I just kind of wanted to get us to this point and then have
Okay.
something to think about over the next 2 weeks. Because that'll
Yeah,
probably be
just
our last
approach
session
the
before Thanksgiving.
approach the crystal and
Well, as you get closer, let's see. All right, so again, I'm posting the image in campaign play. And in terms of coloration and actually time of day and stuff, this is probably about what you're going to see just before dawn. But the description is a little more specific, and it is as follows. A monument of 3 crystal spires rises straight and true from the desert sands. You actually can see 2 or 3 others like this in the distance. If you're looking on the map now, let me go ahead and expose a little more.
you said 3 crystal spires?
2 others, this one and that one. I don't want to say they're yes, there are 3 crystal spires right here, and then there appears to be 2 other structures like this. One here.
Which one are you on this one here, the overland map?
Yes, the overland map.
Okay. I'm looking at scroll map 2 where there's depiction of 3 spires, so that's why I ask.
Well, they, as you're looking at that, apparently it seems that they correlate to what those 3 spires on the map were.
Okay.
So yeah, they look very similar to that. They're in those locations that I just pointed out on the overland map.
Okay.
Let me give the final description. No. Three 30-foot tall crystal spires tower above a 10-foot wide hexagonal base of polished black stone. The spires, which show no marks from time and weather, stand at the points of the hexagon, one to the north, one to the east, and one to the west. Inscriptions in the ancient alphabet have been carved into the spires. Two forked
Oh boy.
prongs spread from the top of each crystal like the wings of a mighty phoenix. In the center of the platform, there is a circle of gray. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I will post the inscription in graphical form in the Discord channel by next weekend. So I will leave
Okay.
those of you who want to mess with it at least a week to go through. You're not going to need that much time, but I'll leave you at least a week to look at it before the next session. So we will meet up again, presuming everyone is able to, on November 11th. And like I said, that'll probably be our last one before Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is less than 2 weeks after that.
Okay.
But that's where you are.
All right.
Very good.
Good job,
Right,
gang.
thank you
You've
very
gotten
much.
all the star gems now, officially.
Sweet.
And I actually think at this point, this is probably the end of overland travel for the campaign, but don't think that you're quite that close. There's still at least 5 or 6 more areas for you guys to go through. Not
Do you know what?
too much away.
I'm going to be the first to say this. I am going to miss those camels, being I was a druid with no animal handling skills whatsoever. So
You actually left the camels behind on the first shore when you first got on the cloud skate. I don't think. No, did you bring them on the boat?
No,
oh no,
No.
we left them.
Yeah, I thought so.
we left them far enough away that they wouldn't be fried in the daylight.
Hopefully they'll figure out that they've been released before something comes and feeds on them. But yeah, unfortunately, mounts get no respect in D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
it's
camels,
kind
so
of
they'll
unfortunate.
It'll be all right.
They'll be all right. They're camels.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for everyone showing up. Always love having a full group. Albie should be with us for the next session, I hope. And looking forward to getting into the next and last section of the module.
Awesome.
Good stuff, right?
Very good.
All right. And with that, I will go ahead and close down the recording for this session. Have a good one, all you viewers.